All right, look, I've been sitting out here with this dog for 2 days. He got popped by a rattlesnake 2 days ago, and he's on the mend, but as you can maybe tell from his face, he's still swollen up right now. But sitting with him these last 2 days, making sure he was good, he's been teaching me something. And I'll get to that, but I need to set something up first, because that's where this all came from. You don't know what you actually think anymore. And I don't mean about politics or who to vote for. I mean about your own life, your own direction, what you actually believe when nobody's watching and nobody's talking at you. You got opinions, we all do. But if I set you down right now in a quiet room and I said, trace that back, show me where that came from. Most men can't do that, not really. Because your opinions didn't come from you sitting alone, right? They didn't come from you working things out on your own. They came from other people, from feeds, from whatever the algorithm that week said that you needed to see, including this. And you absorbed it. You repeated it. And somewhere along the way, you started calling it yours. And the part that's scary about that, and that people don't really ping on, is that you need other people to confirm it back to you before you feel okay about believing it. But that's not how great men work. It's not conviction. That's approval seeking. And deep down, you already know the difference. You feel it. That hollow feeling when you say something and you're not even sure if you meant it. The low-grade restlessness that just won't leave you alone. It's not circumstantial. That's a formation problem. It means the foundations of what you believe, you don't really believe. And what I keep coming back to is the men you actually respect, the ones that we respect from history, not one of them was formed in that way. They weren't formed by committee. Roosevelt didn't find his footing on a platform. Lincoln walked alone at midnight during the Civil War because it was the only place he could actually think. Every man who ever built something worthwhile, worth building, went into silence alone first to figure out who he was. And we completely lost that. This video is about why. That's what I've been wrestling with. And what it's actually costing you and me. Now let's talk about what the noise is actually doing. Because the conversation right now is always about screen time and dopamine. Oh, dopamine hits. Too much dopamine. Cortisol. And look, that stuff is real. That's not the thing that scares me. What scares me is what the noise does to formation, those foundational thoughts. Because here's what I mean by that. Every morning, the first thing that happens to most men, before a single thought of their own has formed, is a phone starts talking to them. Before your feet probably even hit the floor. Before prayer, before you pray, before you open a book, before you have your first cup of coffee, the machine starts talking. It's pinging you. And what the machine gives you is not information. What the machine gives you is consensus, curation. The algorithm gives you 5 choices. You pick one. You walk away feeling like you made a free decision. But you didn't. You didn't choose from the whole field of human thought. You chose from what the algorithm decided you should see. And decided what you should be picking from. And if you want to know what somebody actually thinks, don't ask them. Take their phone. Look at what they've been fed for the last 6 months. Because that's what they think. They just don't know it yet. And the problem with that is it's not political. People always turn it to the political sphere. It can manifest itself in that way, but that's not the ultimate problem. The problem is that a man who doesn't know what he actually believes cannot commit to anything. He cannot commit to a direction. He can't commit to a woman. He can't commit to a God or a path in life, because commitment requires certainty. And certainty requires that you sat somewhere alone long enough to decide what's actually true. Not what people told you was true, and not what sounded good to your ear. What's actually true? Most men haven't done that in years, if at all. And what you get instead is a man who is constantly reacting, constantly checking, constantly needing confirmation that what he believes is still, that's acceptable. That's acceptable for this week. You can believe that. You can say that this week. You don't have a testimony. You have a timeline. There's a massive difference between those two things. Testimonies are worked out. Timelines are what you're fed. Let me give you two examples. One's Theodore Roosevelt. In February of 1884, his wife and his mom died on the exact same day. Same house, same day. And he didn't stay. He didn't perform his grief publicly. He didn't look around to see how people responded. He didn't look for comfort in a crowd. He left. He went to the Badlands in North Dakota by himself for 2 years. Ranching cattle. No audience, no platform, no political career running in the background. Just silence. Just land. Just the same brutal work every single day. Then he came back, and nothing could touch him. Not politically, not personally. He walked into rooms, and rooms changed because something had settled in him. In that silence that public life never could have formed within him. He didn't know what he was walking toward out there. He just knew the noise wasn't going to do it for him. So he walked away from it. And the silence built him. Marcus Aurelius, most powerful man alive in his day and age. Emperor of Rome. Commanded the largest military in the world up into that point. And every morning in private, he opened a journal that he wrote entirely for himself. Never for public. He didn't expect anybody to ever see it. Wasn't for an audience, wasn't for his spouse, wasn't for his friends. And we call that meditations. It's a book. You can pick it up now. He wasn't performing conviction. He wasn't broadcasting a signal out to people. Wasn't tilting his hand. He was building. Sitting alone with his own thoughts every single morning, asking himself, am I living right? Do I actually believe what I say I believe? Is there anything that I'm believing that does not hold up? That's what he would wrestle with. That's not weakness. That's the most disciplined thing a man can do. And he did it in private. Just for himself. Because that's where conviction actually forms. That's the pattern. The silence wasn't the reward at the end. We think of it that way. The silence was the prerequisite for every single thing that came after. I want to come back to this guy. I want to come back to Buddy. This is where this all started for me. 2 days ago, he got bit by a rattlesnake. Face swelled up, massive, eyes nearly shut. Came up to me, still wagging his tail. Still in a good mood, you can still sweet. Put his head on my leg, came close. He knew he needed help. He's still swollen right now as I'm talking to you. He's doing better. He's going to be fine. And I'm sitting here looking at him. I was thinking, I know this animal. This dog winters at 15 below. He summers at 95 out here. He lives on this property with me and all the grizzlies, wolves, coyotes. Come along. And not once have I seen this dog spiral. Not once have I seen him react sideways. Not once have I seen him look lost. And I've been thinking about, as I've been sitting with him, why that is. Is that breeding? Because it's not because he doesn't have threats. He has more threats than most, more threats than you and I in a given day. It's not that life hasn't been hard on him. It has been. It's that this dog, most of the time, is just still. He's not pacing. He's not flinching. He's not scared. Not filling every quiet moment with a podcast or his feed. He just sits. He watches. He's present. And because of that, when he acts, he knows why he is acting. He doesn't spiral when a grizzly shows up on our property because he wasn't spiraling before the grizzly showed up. He meets the moment with clarity because he wasn't already depleted from the noise that's around him. I've been sitting out here with him. He needed somebody present, and I can be that person. And honestly, I think I needed this too. No phones or podcasts. Just him, the sky, silence, and the wind. And I've been thinking more clearly in the past couple days. Not because anything changed. Because I got quiet enough to hear what was already here in the wind. And watching him, I realized something. He didn't know who he is because somebody told him on the internet who he was. He knows who he is because the noise never got to him. He got hit, sure. He laid down, but he stayed himself. And that's what he taught me. Not a lesson he set out to teach, that's for sure. But the things he showed me by being exactly who he is. You can draw your own conclusions about that. Psalm 46:10. Be still and know that I am God. I know you've heard this verse before. I know it's on mugs and it's on wall art. I know. But I need you to look at the actual Hebrew word here because it changes things. The word translated be still, it's Rapha. And Rapha doesn't mean rest. It doesn't mean take a nap. It doesn't mean slow down. Rapha means release your grip. Stop straining. Stop white knuckling. Let go of your need to control the outcome long enough to actually hear what's really being said to you. That's a completely different command. This is not a suggestion for tired people. Hey, go get some rest, go take a nap. No. This is a command issued to men who are about to enter something. Be still, and then you will know. Not the other way around. You don't get the knowledge and then become still. You become still, and then the knowledge will come. That's the sequence. And we've reversed it. We think if we just gather enough information, we watch enough tutorials or YouTube videos or life hacks or TED Talks, enough opinions come our way, well, then we'll eventually feel settled. How's it working? Never works. Because you cannot think your way into conviction. You have to sit your way into it. That's what Roosevelt did in the Badlands. That's what Aurelius did in the private every single morning. The knowledge came after the stillness, not before. If this landed with you today, share it. Because somebody probably came to mind who you know just needs to be still. Shoot it to them. I'll see y'all out here. Find Jesus, fight culture, and spread the good news.